This is a graphical overview of the Media Labs integration. It's still a work in progress. We may have different requirements along the way, and I'm sure that we'll have some different reporting along the way. On the left-hand side, you see the Media Lab information that we're pulling in. We'll pull it in nightly through these staging tables so we can compare what they have each night to what we think that they have out there on their system. And we can create a variance report so we can look for any problems along the way on a daily basis. On the right hand side is the information that we're going to be pulling from 3 systems. Pending sales every 15 minutes when a sale simplicity contract is created creates a pending sale. So we'll be able to take that pending sale and update the status of a lot. So within 15 minutes of someone sending a contract to DocuSign, we can update the Media Labs map to show that it's now sold. And then for specs, and once contracts actually get to E1, we'll pull the information from E1. So we'll have a plan and elevation and the status changes, specs, models, sold homes. We also, you see at the bottom is price sheet. It's because the price sheets have the marketing descriptions. It'll make it easier for us to relate or match up to the Media Labs information. So we're going to use a C# little integration program to pull from Media Labs API through the staging tables each night into our main tables. We'll have this mapping that I'll show you in a little bit. The mapping will help us relate the internal information to the Media Labs information. So for example, this job number in E1, I didn't see any job numbers out on Media Labs, so I have to relate this job number, because that's our uniqueness inside E1, to the lot, and it's based on the subdivision and the lot. So that's how the mapping will work. And then we can merge the information together. Then every 15 minutes, we'll have this set of information relating our internal to the external. Then that information will consolidate to a view that will show us just the changes of what we have previously sent to Media Labs to what we need to send. So if we have a new sale or a new spec or model, those are the only things that are going to send out, not all the inventory at the same time. So we have just our changes that go through another C# program to their API system out to Media Labs. The end result will update their maps. This is just a picture of their map, and just to show you that you would click into their neighborhood, like click into estates, it would open up their little inventory map, and you see the arrows pointing to lot 177, which is a spec home. Then if you click on that lot 177, you'll see that it's related to just one single floor plan, one single elevation, and that's that lot. So the information that we send out will control the colors on the map for the different statuses, as well as when you drill into the map, looking at what is the floor plan associated with it or the elevation. Now, if it wasn't sold, for example, if it's still a available lot, you'll be able to see all the floor plans that can go on to that lot, as well as all of the elevations. And I'll have a follow-up video for that as well. Now let's take a look at the integration mapping. Up at the top is a new subdivision that was set up out on Media Labs. It's Raffia Estates, and you see it, they have a 2.0. This is actually the name that's coming from Media Labs. This Estates is actually coming from Media Labs, and this is their little ID. And this drop down has the matchup from E1. So you can start typing. So I'm going to type in just an R to get to Raffia Preserve, and I select Estates, and that's it. So we mapped our Media Lab neighborhood to our E1 neighborhood. When I click down here, it's going to refresh this table. I didn't want to list all of the plans unless we already had a mapping for the neighborhood, because I used the mapping for the neighborhood to determine this list to select from. It's a lot better than selecting from about 400 plans, I thought. So just trying to make it more efficient. You do the same thing. This is the information on the left-hand side. It's coming from Media Labs. When you see this little ML, stands for Media Labs. So they call it Athens, and we actually call it Athens on our price sheet. So that's where I was talking about it. We're getting the name from the price sheet. So you just select it, and I probably have to change this, what shows up on the screen. You see it's actually out there, but since I have the field so narrow, I'll work on that. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the rest of them. Corsica, and I don't know how to say that, Ibiza. Same thing for lots. So we have to match up the job from E1 to the lot. And I limit it to the subdivision, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you just have to look for the, in this case, 167. And it is in order, if I can determine my order. And since you can type ahead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Control C, Control V. It'll get us down to the 167. Control V, and it's 169 and 170. So that's what we have to do. Just each time that there's a new neighborhood, we have to map these things. You notice that there's no elevation mapping because I'm going to try to do that automatically. I'll take the last section. I'll show you. Let me just show you real quick. We have this report that does a comparison of the Media Lab information. The blue columns are the Media Lab information. The red columns are from the internal systems. So you can see them side by side. In the elevation, for example, Media Lab, they put the description elevation space A. Internal, we have the letter A. Sometimes we have up to 4 letters for an elevation. What I'm doing is taking the last section. So I'll look for a space, and then I take the last section, and it could take 4 letters or whatever, and it will match automatically to our E1 system. So hopefully that will work going forward. We'll just have to see as soon as we set up more communities that use the longer elevations. This report is broken down by the community and then the neighborhood. When you go through, you can see that here's the end of one neighborhood, and then it starts a new page for the new neighborhood. And I'm sure that we'll have some other oh, see, here's a good example. I have not set this to automatically update. It was updated, let's see, I think it was Sunday. And so I'm going to look to see if this lot 149 has closed since then, because I see we have an E1 status of closed, but right now out on Media Lab it is considered sold. So that update that goes every 15 minutes. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. See, I wrote the thing and I totally forgot what I was doing. They don't have a closed out on Media Lab, so that is a little bit different. I changed closed to a sold. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Obviously, I forgot. It's only been a day and a half. But a pending is the same as a sold out on Media Labs because they don't have a pending. And a closed is the same thing as sold out on Media Labs because they don't have a closed. But that's it. So once we get it started, it'll, like I said, run every 15 minutes. We'll see the updates. We'll have a nightly update to pull their information and probably an alert to show us any things that are not matching or new communities, for example, that need mapping. I hope this helps.